Welcome, help me reach 4,000 subscribers. Your support keeps me creating the intense, emotional, and suspense-packed stories you love on Breakup Cheater. Like the video, drop a comment, subscribe for more jaw-dropping betrayal stories. Every click truly means the world. Thank you for being part of this growing family. I didn't realize that a single sentence could end a marriage until the night she said it. Get a divorce if you don't like my choices. She said it like she was asking me to pass the salt. No tremor in her voice. No hesitation. Just a cold, effortless swing of the axe that split 12 years of love down the middle. The night it began to end. It was a Friday evening. Late, humid, and heavy, with a silence that tasted like old arguments. The house smelled of burnt garlic and overcooked pasta. She was sitting at the table, scrolling her phone, a faint smirk tugging the corner of her mouth the way it did when she was texting someone who wasn't me. I asked her, careful, gentle, "Maya, are you talking to him again?" She didn't look up, just kept scrolling. "Yes," she said casually, "and I don't want to fight about it anymore." My throat closed. I waited for a laugh, a just kidding anything. But she set her phone down, leaned back, and folded her arms like a woman who had already chosen her side. "I'm allowed to have friends," she added. "I'm allowed to live my own life." I looked into the eyes of the woman I once knew better than myself, and she felt like a stranger. A stranger wearing my wife's face. "Maya, he isn't just a friend. You're lying to me." She cut me off with a sharp exhale, her patience evaporating. "If you don't like my choices," she said, every word crisp and ice-cold, "get a divorce." There it was. The sentence that shattered something deep inside me. The slow unfolding of truth. The next morning she acted like nothing had happened, humming while she buttered toast, kissing my cheek mechanically like muscle memory rather than affection. I went to work with the taste of betrayal stuck to my teeth. That night, when she said she was going out with friends, I didn't argue. I just watched her dress up more beautifully than she had in months. Perfume behind the ears, lipstick too red, laughter too light. When the door shut behind her, it felt like the closing of a book I hadn't finished reading. I knew where she was going. But knowing and proving are two different breeds of pain. I stared at my phone like it was a lifeline and a weapon. Each minute she didn't reply stabbed deeper. 11:14 p.m., no response. 1:03 a.m., still none. 3:26 a.m., door opens, footsteps soft, guilt loud. She slipped into bed, smelling of someone else's cologne, a scent that clung to my chest like a fist. I didn't wake her. I just lay beside her, staring into the dark, heart bleeding silently into the pillow. Proof hurts more than suspicion. The next day I opened her laptop. Not out of spite. Not out of cruelty. Out of desperation. Because broken trust demands truth like a thirsty mouth demands water. And the truth came in waves. Photos. Messages. Voice notes. A hotel booking under her name. She wasn't drifting, she was gone. Reading their conversations felt like being stabbed slowly with something dull. No sharp mercy. Just grinding, relentless tearing of what once held my world together. I wish he'd stop asking questions. He's too emotional. I love being with you. I feel alive again. I think I'll eventually leave him. Just not yet. Eventually. Like I was furniture. Like I was an obstacle, not a husband. I closed the laptop with trembling fingers. Something broke in me. Not anger, not rage, but a deep hollowing, a quiet collapse. Like the foundation of a building sinking silently into the earth. For the confrontation. That evening I waited at the dining table. Same place she told me to get a divorce if I didn't like her choices. The irony stung. When she walked in, carefree and glowing, her smile faltered at the sight of me sitting there, laptop open like evidence laid at a trial. I didn't shout. I didn't throw anything. My voice came out soft, too steady for the storm inside. "How long?" Her eyes flicked to the screen, then to me. She hesitated, but only for a heartbeat. 6 months. A month. Half a year of lies. Half a year of holding hands with me while loving someone else. I swallowed shards of myself and asked, "Do you love him?" Her silence was the loudest answer I've ever heard. 5. The choice she never expected. In that moment she expected a broken man. Begging man. A pleading man who would ask her to stay. But betrayal has a way of transforming people. Doesn't make you strong, it makes you final. I stood up, calm in a way that terrified even me. "You told me to get a divorce," I said quietly. "So that's my choice." Maya blinked, genuine shock widening her eyes. She hadn't thought I would go through with it. She wanted freedom without consequences. Choices without losses. "Wait, Daniel, we can talk about this." I nodded slowly. "We are talking." She reached for me but I stepped back. Her hand hovered mid-air, lost, uncertain. "I didn't mean it like that," she whispered. "But some words are guns. And once fired, apologies cannot unpull triggers." 6. The unraveling of love. The days that followed were raw. We lived like ghosts, silent, drifting past each other without touch, without laughter, without us. Sometimes I wanted to forgive. Other times I wanted to hate. But mostly I just felt tired. Love shouldn't feel like surviving a war. Marriage shouldn't feel like waiting to be replaced. Her lover kept calling. She thought I didn't hear the phone buzz at 2 a.m. But I did. She thought I didn't notice her slipping outside to talk. But I did. I realized something then. You cannot hold someone who wants to leave. And I was done being the man she half chose. 7. The last conversation. A week later, papers in hand, I asked her to sit with me. She looked smaller. Afraid maybe. Or simply confronted by the consequences she never thought would come. "You want this?" she asked, voice barely a breath. I didn't answer right away. I looked at her. The woman I spent 12 years loving. The woman I thought I'd grow old with. The woman who once traced constellations on my skin and promised forever. And now we were strangers with shared memories. "I wanted us," I finally said. "But you made your choice. Now I'm making mine." Her eyes glistened, regret, confusion, maybe even love buried somewhere under the rubble. "Daniel, I didn't think you'd leave." A sad smile pulled at my lips. "That was your mistake." I signed the papers. The last choice. She signed too. Hands shaking like a person watching something precious slip through their fingers. The final goodbye. The day I moved out, she stood in the doorway. Bare feet, messy hair, no makeup. The version of her I loved best. For a second, time stilled. For a second, I imagined running to her, begging, forgiving. But forgiveness means stitching up wounds someone hasn't stopped cutting. So I placed the keys on the table. The same table where she first planted the seed of our ending. "Take care of yourself, Maya," I said softly. She breathed out a shaky whisper. "I'm sorry." I nodded, but some apologies come too late to matter. I walked out without looking back. Not because I didn't love her, but because I finally loved myself enough to go. 9. Aftermath. People think divorce is the ending of love. But sometimes it is the final act of self-preservation. The closing of a book that held more pain than joy. I still dream of her sometimes. Of our road trips, our rainy mornings, the way she laughed with her whole body. Memories cut deep, but healing isn't forgetting. Healing is remembering without bleeding. One night months later I got a message. It was her. "I regret what I chose. If I could undo it, I would." I stared at the screen for a long time. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. I just felt peaceful. Because some stories are meant to end. And some choices can't be taken back. I replied only one thing. "I hope you find happiness truly." But I found mine by walking away. 10. Closure. She once told me, "Get a divorce if you don't like my choices." She said it like it wouldn't matter. So I made one last choice. The only one she'd ever truly regret. I let her go. Not out of anger. Not out of spite. But because staying would have meant betraying myself. And sometimes the most painful decision is the most necessary one. Sometimes the bravest thing a man can do is walk away from what he still loves.